Hey, Vengeance has just gone off the air, so here's a quick review of the show. We started off with Air Boom beating Ziggler and Swagger in a decent match. Main thing I got out of this was that the tag team titles are beginning to really mean something now. That they've put them on Air Boom. They've not lost them yet. They've not done the thing that they usually do, where they give them to a team, they lose them to someone, then they get them back, then they lose them to someone else, then they get them back and stuff like that. They're not doing that. They've kept hold of them now for like, what is it 2 or 3 months? Maybe 2 months they've had hold of these titles, which is good. It's good for the continuity of the titles, it's good for storyline continuity, it's also good for title prestige. These titles mean something now. These titles will mean more when somebody finally does beat them for the titles. It'll be like, wow, they finally beaten this team now, I wonder how long these will keep hold of it, and this team must be a real legit team if they've beaten Air Boom, because Air Boom were quality, especially with Air Boom being such big fan favourites. Yeah, that was all good. Then they had, this was a strange booking decision, well, not that strange actually. Ziggler, after fighting in that match and losing, then went up against Zack Ryder and defended his US title and actually beat Zack Ryder now, albeit with a bit of help from the outside from Jack Swagger. But still, he's beaten Zack Ryder, which makes Zack Ryder look weak, because Zack Ryder couldn't beat Ziggler, even though Ziggler just had a match, basically. Again, I enjoyed this match. It's a good story. It wasn't like fantastic in-ring work, 5-star classic or anything like that, but it was competent stuff. Ryder's really upped his game. I've been one of the people on here that's like championed his YouTube channel, but at the same time been like he's not that good in the ring. But he did well today, so full props to him and all the Ryder marks who are totally behind him. But yeah, they've just sort of ruined him now for me. Well, not for me. Sort of ruined his character, because like if he wasn't going to win tonight, when is he going to win the IC title? Next up we had the Divas title match, and I've got to admit I paid no attention to this because Football Manager 2012 is out, so I was playing that throughout the pay-per-view really, but through this match I was paying full attention to the game and not bothered about the match. Beth beat Eve, that's all I can say about it really. Then we had Lobster Head, he beat Christian in a match that I was like, not bothered. Don't care about this match. The feud means nothing. We're just doing this so Lobster Head, Sheamus gets over even more. A thing that I realised during this pay-per-view is that I hate, it's a little pet peeve of mine, I hate when wrestlers who are going against each other are wearing similar colours. Like Sheamus and Christian were both wearing black and green, and in the Air Boom Zig-Swag match, Ziggler was wearing the same colours as Air Boom. So, and I'm used to professional sports where one team wears a different colour to the other team, so that you don't see a clash on the pitch and the fans know what's going on, and the teams know who to pass to, and they don't. It's easier to make a pass, so you don't have to look up to see the shirt. You can just look up, see the shorts, or whatever. You know what I mean? So, and when like wrestlers wear like the same colour as their opponent, it just, I don't know, it gives a bit of similarity between the two, and I'm just like, why am I watching these two? Like it doesn't give that clear divide that I want. Even though like it's not all black and white nowadays, I understand like it's not all good versus bad, but I want to see the little colour separation. It's not too much to ask. I know it's a little pet peeve, but it just doesn't look right, I don't think. Anyway, Miz and Truth then beat Punk and Triple H when Kevin Nash came down and attacked Triple H, which was a bit like, well, it wasn't a massive surprise, but it wasn't something I was totally expecting. I wasn't expecting Nash to be back. Speaking of Nash, have you all seen that Scott Hall documentary that ESPN did? It was just a short thing, like 20 minutes long, but it was really good. I suggest that you all go and check it out. You can even find it on YouTube in its entirety, not even in different parts. One full video, you can find it. Just YouTube it, Google it, and then you find it on YouTube. I might talk about it in full in a different video. Next up, we've had Randy Orton beating Cody Rhodes, and I don't remember the endings to this match. I always go on the Wikipedia straight after the shows to just write down the results on my phone so I can remember them all. But yeah, I don't remember. When I read that on there, Orton beat Cody Rhodes, I was like, I don't actually remember that. And that was one of the final matches. I actually don't remember. It must have been a non-title match if Randy Orton won. Then we had Mark Henry and the Big Show for the world title. They did the spot that they did with Brock Lesnar a few years ago with the Big Show, where he suplexes him off the top rope and the ring breaks. The crowd went absolutely mental for this. They were buzzing, and they started chanting "Holy shit!" Now I was sat watching like, oh, this again. They've done this before, but the crowd would like, oh, this has never happened before. This is the best thing ever. who would have thought of this? Like, this is genius. Like, I don't know. It sort of put me in one of those grumpy moods that like, it's like, oh, these new fans, they don't know what they're talking about. Do you know what I mean? I was like, well, all fans get that. With fans who are newer than them, like fans from the 80s, would be like, oh, you kids who grew up through the Attitude Era, you know nothing about real wrestling. The 80s was where it was at, and the 80s people, the ones who used to love wrestling in the 70s, says the same about the 80s. Like, oh, you Hogan marks. It was all about flair in the 70s and the Funks and the Briscoes and what have you. We all do that with the different generations. Like, oh, our time was better than your time. Well, at the end of the day, it's all the same stuff, really. But yeah, Matt Kennedy drew the big show after they broke the ring, which I thought I'd enjoy the spot. But for those people who've never seen that sort of stuff before, I played CA, it must have been amazing. I remember when it happened, I remember watching it on a Saturday morning, because that's when SmackDown used to be aired in the UK then. Saturday morning, then Saturday evening was the uncut version. But I remember watching it Saturday morning, then going out with mates that day, and just talking about it all the way down. Like, we was walking to my other mates who lived like 10-15 minutes walk down the road, and then was getting a lift from there somewhere. I remember just talking about it all the way down, and when we got to it, was like, oh, this just happened, this just happened. It's like, wow, and we got talking about it, and we didn't really used to talk about wrestling, but we did that day. Anyway, yeah, so that was alright. It ended up in a no contest, and then everyone was like, oh my god, what's going to happen with the Cena match? He's not going to go on. It was obviously going to go on. This match was the last man standing match. You don't need a ring for that. You could do it anywhere. And they did, and Del Rio beat Cena, even though Cena battered him. Made Cena look really strong, and I'm not one of these that's like, oh, Cena, he looks strong all the time, I hate it, because that's his character. He's supposed to be like, he's the main guy in the company, he has to look strong, he makes the company look stronger. That's what people don't understand. My problem is that he just made Del Rio look too weak. Del Rio needed just to get that bit more in, take a bit less of a beating, and then it took Miz and Truth coming down to save Del Rio, and then just as Del Rio's been FU'd and off some steps through a table, they come down to stop the referee's count, they give Cena a beat, and then Cena just gets up before the count of 10. Del Rio comes in, smashes him with the title belt, might have done something else, but then he gets the count of 10. Del Rio is still your WWE champion. Overall, this was a largely forgettable show. They're going to talk about it like, oh, it was such a memorable show because the ring broke, because they were doing that through the show, like, oh my god, we've never had the ring break and for it to carry on before. That doesn't make it legendary for me. That doesn't make it memorable. It's a talking point for people who've never seen that before, and I suppose it's a talking point for us older fans. Like, oh, they've done that again. Because at the end of the day, it was about 7 years ago, and they did it last maybe 8 years ago. But I don't know. Nothing. This pay-per-view wasn't bad. It wasn't. I don't want to be coming on air and be negative saying, oh, this was terrible, because it wasn't. But at the same time, it wasn't great. If anyone's going to come on there and say, oh, this is such a great pay-per-view, you're talking out your ass. I'm sorry, but you are. This was not a great pay-per-view. It was alright, though. I watched it all the way through, so I must have enjoyed it to a certain extent. What were your thoughts on the pay-per-view? What were your thoughts on each individual matches? Do you think I'm being a bit harsh, or do you think I'm being a WWE apologist? Do you think I'm being too nice to the show? Let me know down here in the description box, in the comment section even. Like or dislike, subscribe if you want. I've just got up to 600 subscribers, so thank you to everyone who's ever subscribed. And yeah, thank you for watching. And oh yeah, if you tune into this for the girl, she's not here today. Sorry, just me. Bye.